Hey friends, happy Preptober. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Samantha Marie, also known as SM Writing the Writer. I'm a freelance editor for indie authors, as well as a soon-to-be self-published author. And on this channel, I document my writing journey and my experience as a freelance editor in this shitty-ass economy. So if that's your jam, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and stick around for weekly uploads that mostly look like weekly writing vlogs and possible sit-down chats now that we have good audio. So today is Tuesday, October 3rd. We are 3 days into Preptober and so far so good. We have a lot of things on our to-do list today. A lot of them involve creating content for here and for Instagram. So I thought I would start this vlog before I actually dive into the bigger content creating that's about to eat up most of my day. Today's Tuesday. We are going to focus on drafting our newsletter for Thursday, which is the Morning Mocha. It goes out once a month now, the first Thursday of every month, and you can always subscribe to that down below. It's linked in the description. Anyway, we are going to chip through our to-do list today. I have to film our Preptober plans video. I wanted to get this vlog started because I did not do any vlogging in September, as you can see. My intention was to vlog all of September, but I was really waiting for this mic to come in so that we can have just better quality audio. But yeah, September went pretty well. I got to work on 2 very great projects. I got to do a beta read and I got to do a copy edit turned developmental edit, which I think went really well. And then I had a client reschedule last month to this month, which is really good. It took a little bit off my plate, and we are still working on the ghostwriting novella from last month. I had to adjust the deadline with my client because I fell behind on work last month because I wasn't feeling well, and some deadlines just had to be pushed back. So while September didn't go exactly as planned, everything went well, and that's all I can really hope for. One of the great things that did happen, which I already mentioned in my Preptober planning video, is that I got a chance to recommit and reconnect with Biting Reviews, and I'm really looking forward to diving into that this week. So right now I want to focus on getting all of the work stuff out the way and hopefully getting to the Biting Reviews, at least outline, this evening. I would really like to read through my full dump file that I created for it and kind of just see where I was going with the writing part of it, and then keep connecting with the outline and going from there. So we'll talk all about all that stuff later, but I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna film another video real quick, and then I will come back and update you guys a little bit later. So a little background for those of you who may not know, Biting Reviews is my dark vampire romance that I've been working on since February, and it's essentially part of a companion series that is also interconnected with another companion series, and they all just take place in the same fantasy world that I've been creating. Biting Reviews has been the novel that I've been working on since February of this year, and I stopped working on it in May, just after April's Camp NaNoWriMo. During that April's Camp NaNoWriMo, I had gotten kind of like a writer's block because I found that I was filtering out the scenes and stories and ideas and stuff that I had for Biting Reviews through this other story idea, which is more of a urban fantasy with a romance subplot, where Biting Reviews is a little bit heavier on the romance. But anyway, I found myself filtering one story through the other, and things were getting pretty muddled, and essentially I just lost touch with the original idea of the story and my original vision for the story. And so in September, when I was reading through the documents that I have for Biting Reviews, which is currently a outlining document, and then I have one that is a dump file, and then I have one that is the last zero draft that I started and was working on in April, which isn't very many words. I think it's under 5,000 words still. Essentially, I've been focusing this past week on the outline and developing my main character, Mallory. I'm also focusing on figuring out what it is that's missing from this story. So I haven't quite figured out what that is, but this week I have managed to figure out quite a lot through doing the 5 a.m. writing challenge. So the way that I'm doing the 5 a.m. writing challenge, the intention for me is simply to just reset all of my routines for fall, but to primarily help me get back focused on Biting Reviews and get back to prioritizing both my writing in general and this project specifically, because I really want to finish a draft by the end of the year so that I can be moving into 2024 working on revisions and getting it ready for publishing for fall of 2024. So the end of September, I was mostly working my way through all of my documents and information that I have for writing reviews and getting rid of the things that I know don't work for the story anymore. Because I also kept a journal when I started drafting, or rather outlining biting reviews back in February. I created the novel writing journal, and I'm really glad that I did, and I'm really glad that I started using it for biting reviews when I started drafting, because it helped me remember the heart of the story and the original intention I was going for and the original themes that I wanted to be exploring in the story. And it helped me realize that part of the reasons why I was blocked wasn't just because I was filtering one story through another, but because I was getting far away from the heart of the story in the midst of outlining it and trying to figure out where I was going. So I'm really glad that I had the novel writing journal to read back through and kind of help me just retouch base with everything I was originally going for and kind of the early excitement of shiny new idea syndrome that I had during this time. I also kept track of my writing sprints in the journal, so I had gotten a lot of writing done and I was getting really far in terms of the initial zero draft that I had started. But of course I ended up scrapping it because it wasn't really working out. But it did help me discover a lot of character and what I didn't want for the story. And so my goal with this challenge, especially for the month of Preptober, is just to really get through the outline of this story, and at the bare minimum walk into NaNoWriMo and the drafting process with fully fleshed out character profiles, fully fleshed out settings for the most part, and I want to have a strong grasp of all the key elements of plot that I really, really need. So far this week, things have been going pretty good. For the first day of this challenge, which was Sunday, October 1st, I made it to my desk. I crawled there. I got there at, I think it was like 5:10 or 5:15 by the time I made coffee and settled my dogs down. I set a timer, pulled up my documents. I didn't get a lot of writing done on this particular day, but I did get to do a really good read through of Mallory's profile of what I have for her so far and kind of build up some more questions that I need answers to in terms of her friendships, the secondary characters that are going to be, you know, within her life and her family, her friends, and the questions that I need to be able to answer in terms of the romantic arc between the two main characters. So on the first day, you know, I didn't get a lot done, but we got up, we made it to the desk. The second day was pretty productive. I actually didn't get any filming done for days 2 and 3. And that's because I realized it's more helpful if I'm going to film clips for 5 a.m. to set up my camera the day before. Because if I have to spend the morning fussing over camera angles or trying to get a good shot or whatever it is, like I'm taking my morning concentration time that I'm intending for writing or for my self-care time, and I'm ending up using that time and energy to fuss over a camera angle. And then by the time I sit down to write, I don't even have the energy and I don't want to bother because I'm already annoyed. So days 2 and 3, I didn't get any filming, but we did continue to show up this week every morning to the desk. I can't say that I made it at exactly 5 a.m. every single morning. I think one of the other things I also learned throughout this week is that 5 a.m. is not going to look the same every day for me. Like some days I am going to be very ready to just jump up and come sit at my desk and start writing because I've been brainstorming all night. And and I'm really excited to get back to it. Other days, I'm going to be recovering from sitting at a desk all day for work, and I'm going to want to do my morning routine of yoga and journaling and meditation and prioritize that before I come to writing. And I'm okay with that because it's still allowing me to show up and prioritize me and my writing first and foremost before I even dive into making my to-do list for the day. So that was the second biggest takeaway for me as I've started this 5 a.m. challenge. And I think if you're going to do a 5 a.m. writing challenge and you want to do it for more than just 1 week, it is definitely worth it to think about your lifestyle, your day-to-day routines, and especially your evening routine, because I quickly found that even though I'm wanting to get up at 5 a.m., I'm still having trouble shaking the night owl in me that wants to stay up and come back to my desk and be working on my project at like 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. And that's great and that's enthusiastic. We love the enthusiasm, but it really kicks me in the ass the very next morning when I'm trying to crawl out of bed at 5 o'clock. So we had some lessons learned, but we also got a lot of things done for our project. Some of the things that I know that I need to work on going into the second week of the writing challenge is to work out the kind of structure of the job that my main character has. And I don't know if I shared this before, but I feel confident, or rather I feel comfortable sharing it now because I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep her occupation the same. And it's that she's a travel writer and she works for a very prominent magazine. So I need to figure out the kind of structure and hierarchy and way that I want just kind of the magazine world to work as and function. And then I want to be focusing on the secondary characters and more thoroughly filling out my main male character's character profile. Because while I'm chipping away steadily at Mallory's character profile, I haven't been dedicating that same amount of time and energy to my male main character. Currently, his name is Carter. I don't know if that name's going to change, but right now that's what it is. So we'll see. I do want to come up with a name for the magazine, a name for the imprints, and a name for a few other businesses that are going to be mentioned throughout the story. And in general, I just need to name my settings. I'm not always the best at naming things. Those things usually come to me last, but I would like to have as many of those things figured out as possible, just because those are tedious details that I don't want to have to deal with later. And I really want to work on establishing Mallory's fears, Carter's fears, and the connection and how I'm going to bring these two together and what their overall romantic arc is going to look like. Even now, sitting down to film this, I'm doing this voiceover on Sunday, October 8th. And this morning I did get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I was sitting here and I did work on the outline. And I feel like even right now, while filming this voiceover and editing this video, I've come up with some ideas for some of the questions that I have and information that I want to keep fleshing out. And even better, I would like to end off week 2 with having most of Act 1 fleshed out, or some combination of Act 1 and Act 2, where I have all of the very important and primary scenes or things that I just know need to occur. I'm not trying to get down very specific details in terms of every single moment of the plot, as long as I know my characters well enough and I develop them and their backstory and know where I want to go with them, especially their emotional arc. I'm fine with just having the bullet points and main points for the rest of my plot. So that's what we're going to focus on going into Preptober week 2. But yeah, overall this week went well and I'm looking forward to how week 2 turns out. I'm going to definitely work on my filming setup and how I'm going to record clips and grab clips for the morning writing sessions, because I can't see myself sitting down to do a talking introduction at 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't even want to turn on my room lights. As you can see, most of the clips from these days are pretty dark because I don't like turning on the big light. That's just not me. I'm not a big light girl. I like to turn on my lamp and sometimes it's not enough for filming. So I'm gonna work on that. But yeah, otherwise I just really look forward to seeing how week 2 goes. I'm excited to keep digging into biting reviews, and I feel like I'll get a lot more done this coming week also, as I'm feeling a little bit more adapted to waking up at 5 a.m. We'll see how that goes, and hopefully I'm able to accomplish the short list of things that I want to be able to accomplish for biting reviews within this first week. But with all that said, thank you guys all for watching. I hope you're doing well. I hope week 1 of Preptober went well for you if you're participating. Please feel free to let me know down below what you're working on, what your goals are. If you are participating in NaNoWriMo, if you're being a Preptober rebel or you plan on being a NaNoWriMo rebel, let me know. I'd love to know what you guys are working on. But yeah, that's going to be it for this week's video. Thank you guys so much for watching and for tuning in. If you enjoyed this vlog, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up so the algorithm knows that you like me and my channel. And I will see you guys in the next video really, really soon.